Yes, people, welcome back to another stream as we chat all things wingers today. Make sure you guys have smashed the like button. We're currently on 50 likes. Let's get those likes past 100. Hit the thumbs up button for us, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And of course, if you want to help support the channel grow, you can become a YouTube channel member. Link is in the description. I don't think we've spoke about wingers for a long time. I can't remember the last time we spoke about wingers. It seems to be like midfielders that we've been speaking about, defenders, but wingers, it's been a long time. And of course, when Jordan asked that question yesterday about one player that we would sign, he actually went for a winger. So it's quite funny that he's not on this stream. But yeah, City in for Mitoma apparently, and we face competition. Just initial thoughts on Mitoma, bro?
I like him. He's another one of these players that burst onto the scene. I've watched him play against Liverpool. He was class that day. I've watched him play against some really good teams, and he always seems to turn up. He's just another one of these products that Brighton seem to keep pulling out of nowhere, and they keep absolutely slamming as soon as they arrive. I don't know where they're getting them from. I know this guy's Japanese. I don't know what club he's come from. I don't know much about his history, but quite clearly he's a good footballer. But is he someone we should go in for? Is he gonna? What kind of money is going to cost? Because we spoke about Brighton before, and we know that if you go in for any of their players this summer, you're probably going to pay big cash. But yeah, I mean, if you look at his stats there, he's obviously been crucial to their very good season they've had. So yeah, he's good, but I prefer other wingers. But I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, his stats are decent there, aren't they? 9 goals, 6 assists in 27 games. That's 1,730 minutes. If you do by minutes, you get a very healthy goal involvement every 115 minutes. That is excellent. That is, I tell you what, guys. I mean, I always do. You always know because I always tell you. I always like doing the goals and assists per 90 minutes. I think it's a better stat than the goals per game because the goals per game is a bit, if they subbed on or get injured early on, it's a shit stat. If you do it by goals per 90, 115 minutes, that's one of the lowest I've ever seen for a winger, bro. I always say for a winger, if you can be getting a goal or assist every 2 games, so what's that, like 180 minutes, that's a good stat. That's good if you get a goal or assist every 180 minutes for a winger. This guy's almost at a goal involvement per 90 minutes. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. Contract-wise, as we can see at the top right here, he's contracted until 2025. So he's got 2 years left on his contract. He's 25 years old, so he still has some, obviously, development and growth potential. And Transfermarkt has what I consider to be quite an unrealistic and quite low transfer sort of value of 22 million. That's euros that as well. Fucking hell, so that'd be about 18 million quid. I think that's quite unrealistic. I think, and this is the thing, I sort of agree with you on Mitoma. I like him. I do like him. Of course I do, man. He scores 6 goals. He's given me a lot of joy this year in watching him score against other teams like Liverpool and that. And I do think he's a class player. I do. I really do. The problem is that transfer value that you just seen on screen there, that's a lot of shite. You know what I mean? I think that I would just be very, very surprised, bro, if Brighton said anything less than like 70 million because they got 60 million for Cucurella and he only had a year in the Prem. So what they're going to want for Mitoma, who's got some of the best stats I've ever seen?
Yeah, also, like, you would think Brighton will get some sort of international football this campaign, whether it's they could get Champions League in theory, but you would think they're definitely looking to get Europa League. And I think they have a squad good enough to achieve Europa League places as well. So should they get that, they'll be saying, let's put a massive price on Mitoma's head because we'll want him for the Europa League. They'll want to give themselves the best chance they can in European competition next season. And they'll look at it and say, the money that we're missing out on that we could have sold Mitoma for, we'll pick up anyway from UEFA from playing in European competitions. They're not actually losing out on huge cash, and they're giving themselves a better chance of doing well in European competition. So, like I said about any of their top players, you'll have many clubs going in for your Caicedos, your Mitomas. Who else have they got? They've got some McAllister. They've got some other very good players. They're not going to part ways with this super squad they've built for low cash. They're not going to get roasted on these players. We saw dealing with them last year with Cucurella was a pain in the arse. And clearly when we go to clubs like this, we set a valuation of our own. And we say we're not going past this valuation. I cannot see City's valuation being anywhere near Brighton's valuation of Mitoma. City ain't paying 70 million for yes, a great player, but like you said, someone who's only got 1 year's experience in the Premier League. People thought when Cucurella went to Chelsea, he was the next Roberto Carlos. And quite clearly we saw that he was overachieving, or he was doing better than maybe people originally thought at Brighton, and it didn't happen for him as quick as possible at Chelsea. So City would be hesitant to pay that kind of cash for a player with his experience. But listen, you never know, I suppose.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. I think, obviously, I do think that a winger is a position that City need to strengthen. Of course, I think we should have strengthened that position last summer, and we didn't. So I do think we'll get one this summer. And the one reason that they might be looking at Cucurella properly is not Cucurella, sorry, Mitoma properly, is because if you look at the other wingers, none of them are cheap. Leao, 60 million. Kvaratskhelia, probably looking at over 100 million. The only one that I can personally see that City might be able to get out for around 50 million is probably Serge Gnabry. You might be able to get him a little bit cheaper than that as well. Leroy Sané is another one where if he kicks up a fuss and decides he wants to go, then maybe you might be able to get him back. But would he go back to his ex? I don't know. So because Serge Gnabry is probably the cheapest player you can get at maybe 50 million, maybe City might look at Mitoma and go, you know what, it might be worth the extra 20 million if they feel that he is worth that extra 20 million quid. And of course, whilst he's not worth 70 million pound, this is the market, and the market dictates the price, and the selling club dictates the price, and no player's cheap no more. You know, the 60 million now is the old 40 million, 35 million. You know, inflation has hit the football game due to a lack of talent, in my opinion. I think there's a talent drain amongst footballers, and this is why players are so expensive. Mitoma is a class player, and I do agree with Guzman's Law's comment that I just whacked on screen then, is that he's a very clever player, and I think Pep Guardiola would really, really like Mitoma. You know what I get from Mitoma? I get kind of Mahrez type vibes. I do. Mahrez is a very clever player. He's a very tactical player, and he understands what Pep wants from him, and he executes. You know, he goes out on the football pitch and he does exactly what Pep Guardiola wants him to do. I feel that Mitoma would be very similar in that. I feel like Mitoma would come into the football club and he'd execute what Pep Guardiola wants. And I think Pep Guardiola would actually really, really like Mitoma. So if City can get him out for a decent fee, 70 million, maybe they'd do it. I think anything over that, and I think I'd walk away. What sort of fee would you go for, bro? What would be the maximum that you'd pay?
For Mitoma, I'd maximum 50. Genuinely maximum 50, and I try to, when a player's at his highest hype, you know, when everyone's gassing them up and saying this guy is the real deal, I try to look at the overall situation and bring myself back down a bit and look at the overall situation, which is the fact of he's only played 1 year in the Premier League and he hasn't played for a club with the expectation of Manchester City, and it will be a massive step up. And something when you're looking at wingers, and I've kind of learned over the years, is when we're considering buying a winger, I think it has to be a winger who will fit into a system, and a very strong system where there's not much room for going outside your lane, if you like. Like, you know, we brought in Jack Grealish, who was a very free roaming player. He did his own thing at Aston Villa, and then we've molded him into essentially a player that everyone gives out about now. He does what he's told to do, and it's a specific role, which is why I can't see the Kvaratskhelia guy. I'm a convert now. I was looking at a compilation of Kvaratskhelia about half an hour ago. The guy's sick. He's the real deal, yeah. But he's a very erratic player. He likes to go where he likes. He likes to do what he likes. He's not a system player. He's an individual. If we brought someone like Kvaratskhelia in, you'd be telling him you have to eliminate 50% of your game and stay on the wing and do exactly what Pep Guardiola wants to retain possession. Mitoma now, he's more of a player that you could mold into a system and make him, like you said, a Mahrez, give him that kind of a role, or a Jack Grealish, that kind of a role where, yes, they have license to attack the fullback and be creative, but you need to keep the ball. Kvaratskhelia is a risk taker. He'll run, he'll do step overs, he'll try to beat players. And like I said, he's like Jack Grealish at Villa on 200% speed is the tweet I saw this morning, and I think it's quite accurate because they do have very similar running styles. So yeah, Mitoma is the kind of player I reckon you could, because he's 25 and he's more in a system now, turn into a Man City Pep Guardiola system player. You have to look at these kind of things. Are you going to ruin a player if you bring him in or take away his best assets?
Yeah, interesting. I put a poll in the chat, by the way, guys. So have a vote in the poll. There's only 60 people that have voted it so far. So have a vote in that poll. And while you're at it, make sure you smash a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Get those likes past 100, guys. We need 28 people to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Big up to King Haaland is the real GOAT. Says Ake scored 2 goals for Holland. He's a beast. Don't need a left back, fam. We can rotate with Rico Lewis. Maybe another right back and a winger. Yes, says King Haaland. I mean, I feel like you've been converted there by Manchester City, and you're now saying we don't need a left back, bro. We need a left back, man. We do need a left back. Come on, we've not had a proper left back at this football club for 7 years. Give me a left back, bro. I'm saying.
I think if we get Vardiol, we're in no rush to go buy an out-and-out left back.
I'm in a rush, bro.
Why are you in a rush? It's 10 a.m., bro. Why are you in a rush?
I'm not seeing a proper fucking left back, at this football club since Gail Clichy and Alexander Kolarov, man.
Yeah, but you've seen bare trophies. Your life's been good,
Yeah, I know, but it's not all about the trophies, bro. I want to see a left back. You know what I mean? Fuck the trophies. I don't care about the trophies no more. I just want to see a left back on a football pitch, man. I want to
We're a
see.
left back.
I
We're a
want to
left
see
back
that.
for
Yeah,
LB.
man. I want to see that clean player running up the wing, overlapping Jack Grealish, putting a cross into the box. I long for this. I've not seen this for so long, but I'm craving an overlapping fullback. You don't understand it, man. It's something that seems so close yet so far, so natural yet so strange to this football club. I need this. I need this at my team, Bray. I can't go on anymore. I need a left back.
You're a man of simple pleasures, just an overlapping fullback. So
I
forget the
need
trophy. You don't want no Premier League, just an overlapping left back.
for the Champions League, for the Premier League. I don't need these trophies anymore. I just want a left back. Big up Harsh. There's what about Fati? Barcelona looking to sell him. Well, I like Fatty. I do. I like Fatty. I think he's a good player. Now, of course, he does have injury issues, and for a player that's so young, I think he's 20 years old. I think he is. He's had a lot of injuries in his time, so that is a bit of an issue. If you look at this here, look at how many injuries he's had. He's only 20. It's not a glowing report.
Nah, for a 20-year-old man, that's not great at all. And then,
That's
think about it. If you think about it, if he's got that injury record playing in Spain, come to the Premier League where it's even more physical and there's more demands on your body, you have to think it's peak for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I like Fatty, and I think I'd get him if you could get him on the cheap. I'd get him, but I wouldn't spend any more than 30 million on him because his injury record's just simply absolutely atrocious for a 20-year-old who's missed 300 a year, another year and a quarter. He's probably missed about a year and a half of football already, and he's 20. So nah. If you get it for 30 million, I probably risk it. But other than that, I'll probably swerve. Let's have a look at the poll then. Did a poll in the chat. Keep your votes coming in, guys. There's still around 50 people that haven't voted in this poll. What is the maximum you'd pay for Mitoma? The majority of people said they'd pay up to £60 million. 34% say 50 mil. 17% say 40 million quid. And just 9% say they'd pay up to £80 million. I guess a few of them may actually pay a little bit more than 80 million as well. They put an 80 million plus option. But yeah, 60 million seems to be the sort of common figure. 42%. Nearly half the people in the stream would pay up to 60 million for Mitoma, which is quite a lot. But I don't know. Would I pay 60 mil for Mitoma? I don't know. I don't know if I would, man, because I know you can get Serge Gnabry out of there for cheaper. I know you can get Serge Gnabry out of Bayern Munich for cheaper, man. And I just think Serge Gnabry is a better option. I do. I think he's more proven than Mitoma. But Mitoma's a class player. I don't know on that one. And then you've got Leao, 60 million. Apparently City are really, really interested in Leao. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
The thing is, 60 million, it's a lot of money, and you have to look at your options, what you can get for that money. And you've named a few players who are more proven than Mitoma there, but you also have to look at it if you're not going to buy him, someone is. He's going to go to a top 4 Premier League club at some stage, whether it's this summer or it's next summer. He's going to. So do you want it to be yours? If you do, you probably have to act now. So I don't really know. I would not be paying any more than 60 million. I also think it depends massively on the other business managers City do. I don't think City are absolutely desperate for a winger, even though I do think it is on the list of priorities, just not the very top. I think should we get someone like Jude Bellingham, or we have to pay big cash for, I could see us going for the cheaper option on the wing. Should we not get Jude Bellingham and end up with someone like, I don't know, McAllister, who'll obviously be cheaper, they'll probably extend their budget a bit further for the winger option. So I don't really know.
Yeah, interesting. I put a poll in the chat, a new poll about what winger you'd rather have, Mitoma, Serge Gnabry, or Rafael Leao. So have your vote. There's 200 people in the stream. Let's get those votes up, man. Let's see what people are saying. Have your vote in the chat. Yeah, and the likes as well, man. Hit the likes up, innit? We're still 12 likes away from 100, innit? What's up with people this morning, man?
Come on, man. We're up early. We're up early chatting about wingers. Hit the like button. Leao hasn't signed his new contract at AC Milan yet, has he? No? So he's available. Does he want to leave? Does he want to stay? Where does he want to go? Tell me, people. Has anybody got any information on Mr. Leao?
I got the information, Brett. Rafael
Share
Leao
that.
right now. So basically, it's a bit weird. The agent is saying that he wants to stay at AC Milan. AC Milan have offered him a new contract, which is still not signed. He said on Twitter that it's not about money. So what the fuck is it about then?
I could swear I read somewhere that he wanted something like 15 million euro a year, and AC Milan weren't going to give it to him.
But then he said on Twitter that's fake news. He actually said on Twitter, he commented on a post and said fake news. There was an article saying he wants money, he wants more money, and he commented on it saying fake news. So he said it's not about the money. Now, of course, he might just be chatting shit, he might be lying, but that's what he said. Now, there is a rumor saying, well, not a rumor, it's pretty confirmed that he owes Sporting Lisbon like 15 million quid for when he cancelled. Yeah, because when he cancelled, do you remember a couple of years ago when the Sporting Lisbon fans attacked the training ground and all the players cancelled the contracts because like they said, oh yeah, we're going to cancel our contracts because we don't feel safe and it's our right. Well, apparently he cancelled his contracts. A lot of players did. Cancelled his contract, and I think the case went to CAS. And they said, nah, you shouldn't have cancelled your contract. You owe Sporting Lisbon like 15 million quid. There's a few rumours going around, that he wants AC Milan to help him out with that transfer fee of the fee that he owes, around 15 million quid, on top of his salary. So maybe that's it. But other than that, I don't know what it could be because he's saying it's nothing to do with the cash because that's what he said on Twitter. He's only got a year left on his deal. His agent has come out and specifically said he wants to stay. So it was very strange. I don't know what's going on, but he's been in contract negotiations with AC Milan since 2020.
So if we went in and said, we'll pay your Sporting Lisbon debt and give you whatever salary it is that you're on at AC Milan and a bit more, do you reckon we have a chance of getting them?
I mean, yeah, I would think so. I would think so. But then there's also rumors coming out about a quote that I'm not sure if it was actually legit that said he doesn't really like England, doesn't like London or whatever. So maybe it's not possible. I don't know. The whole Rafael Leao situation is so weird. He says it's not about the cash, but hasn't signed a new contract. His agent says he wants to stay, but he's not signed a new contract. Guys say he don't really like England, but City is still bare linked with him. Apparently Pep loves him. Bizarre, man. Proper weird. It's a proper weird transfer. Proper strange.
I can't see City getting involved in that. If it's messy, City don't like getting involved in messy situations and getting involved in all sorts of problems that players have. You know, City, as we know, we like it to be straightforward. If possible, if preferably a release clause that we can go in and just trigger and the player comes straight to us. We don't really do the bidding wars. We don't really like to mess about with personal situations. It's just get the deal done. So I increasingly feel like that one won't happen. I think the obvious candidate and the best one out of all these options is Gnabry. I really do. He's the most versatile. He's clinical. He has winning experience. He's not old. He ticks every single goddamn box. Every goddamn box.
I knew there was a reason we signed you, Bray, because that is that is truth, man. I'm telling you, you guys in the chat, you don't know fuck all. I'm going to clash with you now, yeah? I'm choosing violence once again. Why is only 19% of people want Serge Gnabry? He's the cheapest player on that list of Mitoma, Gnabry, and Leao. He's the most versatile player on that list of Mitoma, Serge Gnabry, and Leao. His stats are fantastic. He's played in the Premier League before. I don't get why only 20% of people have voted Serge Gnabry, man. You need to explain yourself in the chat, man. You need to explain. You guys need to explain. He's not awful. Look, how is he awful? I'm going to have to, right, okay, we're going to go in it. In fact, let me go through these super chats, and then I'm going to come for you now. I'm going to prove to you that he's not awful.
I'll tell you first. I'll tell you my guess as to why they don't want Gnabry. It's because it's not a new sexy name on the block, you know? Varadona's burst onto the scene. Leao's new on the scene. He's making his way. Mitoma's new and fresh, whereas Gnabry's been about for time. It's not a shiny new toy, if you like, in the footballing world. And everyone's like, nah, I want the new model, the updated version, iOS 15. You know. So,
someone just said age. He's 27. I feel like every year the age just gets like requirement for age just gets younger and younger. Like used to be like, if you get 34, then you're a bit old. Then it got to, oh, you're 32. Ah, yeah, I don't want to be signing 32-year-old. Then it got to like 30-year-olds. Oh, yeah, but we're signing a 30-year-old. Now it's at 27. He's too old at 27. How can he be too old at 27, man? What the hell? You guys sometimes. Big up Anthony with the $2 donation. He says $160 million.
For who?
I don't know, bro. Doesn't say. Just says $160 million. Maybe he's talking about Mitoma.
Channel.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Full send it at me if you got 160 mil. Maybe talk about Mitoma. That's Australian dollars. He's from Australia. So if I do Australia $160 to pounds, 86 million quid. There we go.
Okay. It's
See,
Mitoma.
you know what? Anthony makes us work. Anthony knows full well that I don't understand how much the Australian dollars is to the pounds. You're making us work, bro.
He's educating you, bro.
What I'm going to start doing, I'm just going to start halving Australian dollars. So when he sends in, like, we need to spend $160 million, I'm just going to half that and say, right, he means 80 million. It might not be completely accurate, but that's the new strategy, right? Big up King Haaland as well with the super chat. Says, say no to Jude. Use Perone as Gundogan replacement and spend big on Saka this summer. Foden and Saka on the wings, and Grealish can rotate with Foden or KDB in the midfield. That's a lot to digest, bro. I can't lie. I mean, it's fucking 10:30 on a Tuesday morning, bro, and you come in with a big statement dundo. Comunicado.
I don't feel comfortable with the idea of going for Bukayo Saka because we would be killing a football club. If Bukayo Saka was to leave Arsenal Football Club and come to Manchester City, Arsenal fans would go and burn down the Emirates Stadium and their training ground and the Kroenkes and Edu. It would be cardinal sin number one. You don't let Saka go is how they feel right now. You get him on a new contract, and they believe he's already signed a contract. They're just waiting to the end of the season to announce it. You ain't getting Saka out of Arsenal anytime soon. Jude, I want Jude. I don't agree with that. Don't swerve the Jude deal. Go get Jude Bellingham. Perone is one for the future, man.
Yeah. Big up Francesco. Virgilio. I always like to do positional players. So Francesco Virgilio. I'm getting like a right wing back vibe off that name.
What's going on? What's going on here? What are you talking about?
Like sometimes when someone's got like a pretty sick name, we like to imagine what position they play on a football pitch. And Francesco Virgilio, I reckon he's like a Italian right wing back, not a right back, right wing back. Like he plays in a back five, likes to bomb down the wings. Right wing back. Humor is more like a centre back.
Yeah, it's because it's just plain.
Yeah.
there's nothing exotic about it. It's just a big bald centre half. No nonsense.
He says, welcome to City Extra. Hugh, you boys are smashing it. Just a thought, it would be good to see a show with Sam Lee to discuss transfer news, club news. P.S. I voted Gnabry. That's because you're a fucking top man. Yeah, you know what? Transfer shows. I think them sort of shows will probably start to approach as we get a bit closer to the transfer window, Francesco. But we've done it before. Obviously, we've done it before with Fabrizio Romano, which was a big coup for the channel. And we will get more journalists on the channel as we approach the transfer window. Big up for the super chat, and yeah, welcome to you. Yeah, Serge Gnabry, right? Let me have a look at Serge Gnabry, right? People are saying, nah, Serge Gnabry's not it. He's arse, right? Okay, let's talk. Let's talk about Serge Gnabry, yeah? Contracted until 2026. I reckon you could get him out of Bayern Munich for about 50 million quid. He's 27 years old, so still plenty of growth area and growth potential there. He's won a lot of trophies, so experienced. Look at his stats this season, people. Look at his stats this season. They're absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. 12 goals, 11 assists in just 1,049 minutes. That gives him a goal and assist per 90 minutes ratio of a goal and assist every 80 minutes. I was just singing the praises of Mitoma for having a goal involvement every 115 minutes. And this guy's getting it every 80 minutes. Okay, you're still not convinced? Check this. Check the versatility out here. Versatility out. Look at this here. 143 games on the right wing, 108 games on the left wing. He can also play down the middle. He's versatile. He can play either position. I just don't get it. His stats at Arsenal were actually pretty good. No, they weren't. I was looking at the wrong one. He's a good player. I don't get why people don't want him. He's the cheapest player on the list by far. He's played in the Premier League. I don't get why people are turning their nose up at this. Why do people not like Gnabry in it?
Like I said, man, he's not a sexy new kid in the block. You know, he's not the new fresh face of wingers in football. He's been about, and people think he's old and like someone referencing his age. He's only 27. Like that's mad. I think he's a dream Pep player. Pep loves versatility. Pep loves players that can play in an array of positions and score goals as well. And something about his stats there is I'm almost certain a huge amount of his performances, he came off the bench. He doesn't even start most games. He still comes on and is effective, even when he's a substitute. So I think he's a dream. And for if we were to get Gnabry for £50 million, I guarantee that would be some of the best business Manchester City would ever do. I really do. I think it would be absolutely class for our team. It would offer us a different option, a different type of player on the wing. You know, when we speak about Grealish and Mahrez and we say they're too similar, they offer similar things just on different sides of the pitch. Gnabry's got a few more tricks in his book. He's got more to his game than both of those players. And he's proven as well. That's the main thing. That's the main thing he has over all of these other players we're talking about. Gnabry is proven to do it at the highest level, Champions League, international football. I think it's a no-brainer. I don't know why we have to sell it so much. You need to get your sales skills out, man. You need to start selling better.
Yeah, I do actually. I do. But it's early morning, isn't it? You know what I mean? I ain't got the. It's not fully there. It's not fully there. Haaland says, "I want Saka at all costs, even if he costs 300 million." He's a top player, but he's going to sign a new contract, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Right, well, there you go. There's a bit of an update. Oh, big up Alan, by the way, member for 3 months. Says, geez, there you go. Mitoma is better than Gnabry in dribbling, crossing, first touch, strike. He's on a way lower wage. Mitoma is a much better option, says Alan. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we get Mitoma, I'll be fucking buzzing. It's just for me. You know, and again, I've got to, you know, there is a world out here which I would go for Mitoma over Gnabry, but it's unlikely because for me, I would only do that if Mitoma is the same price as Gnabry. If I don't think he's going to be, and that's one of the reasons I'm going for Gnabry, because I think Gnabry would be cheaper than Mitoma, and that's why I think overall the package is more attractive. But Mitoma's a top player. We'll have to see. I really like Mitoma. But I just don't know what Brighton are going to hold out for, man. I think they're going to hold out for some big cash, man. Some big cash.
The thing with Brighton is, I reckon they are one of the clubs that you probably couldn't do it with Bayern. You probably couldn't do it with AC Milan. Is that you could offer them someone like Carlos Borges. You could offer Brighton someone, you know, they like their young players that they want to develop. You could offer someone like Borges. You could offer Tommy Doyle, who could knock some of the fee further off Mitoma and get him down even more. So I think there's options for dealing with Brighton.
Yeah, 100%. Well, there you go, guys. We'll be live later on. Talk about something else. There is quite a lot of news coming out today, actually, about other stuff. So yeah, join us again at 2 p.m. As we go through some more stuff. Make sure you've dropped a like on the stream. We've just got over 124 likes. Let's get that past 130 before you end. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. We've got loads of content coming for you guys. Videos, shorts, all that kind of stuff, man. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.